And I've always said it's weird how human beings worship other human beings. Listen, the Drake fans and the Diddy fans, when you soul yourself and attach yourself to a human being because of their talent and you don't know what they're doing behind closed doors, when stuff like this is released, you don't know what to do with yourself.
No.
The way that he was in that show on TV, the way that he spoke, the way that he spoke to people, the way that he got people to do certain tasks for him, like go to Brooklyn and get me a cheesecake and walk 100 miles. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. It's your boy, Chosen Wisdom.
And it's your girl, Divergent Curl.
Yes, sir, Divergent Wisdom. Thank you guys for joining. As usual, it's a channel where neurodivergent pair, such as ourselves, give you, hopefully, a different perspective, whether it's politics, whether it's news, whether it's music, no matter what it is. We aim to normalize neurodivergency, show you a different maybe way of thinking, a way of approaching certain things, and essentially highlight the fact that we do exist, we are here,
Yeah.
we love and enjoy the same things as you guys do. Thank you for everybody who took part in our last video
Thank you.
that we did about Kendrick Lamar versus Drake, where we went around the centre of London really and asked people what they thought of the beef. It was really enjoyable, something that we hadn't done before. We've never done that before, and it was really, really enjoyable. So thank you for everyone who's taken part.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people had positive comments, some negative comments, and I've seen that some people left comments where, let's say, they argued against people outside of America having an opinion on a worldwide beef, which I found very interesting because Drake is Canadian. So are we saying Canadians shouldn't have an opinion? There's a lot I want to say about that. There is a lot, but it's not for this video. So I just want to say thank you. We saw your comments. We understand certain perspectives. And I think we'll probably talk about it a bit more in another video.
Yeah.
Also, I really think the sarcastic nature of UK humor,
Yeah.
I think, got over a lot of people's heads, especially the intro. We like to have fun here on this channel while hopefully giving you a different spin, a different perspective on things. We are neurodivergent, and that is the whole point of the channel.
Yeah.
Critical thinking. But we haven't really been paying attention to this one. But it's come to our attention a lot more. It's a lot more in our faces.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to talk about this.
Yeah.
This looks really bad.
Yeah.
Really, really bad. We're going to have a look. We're going to watch these videos. And we're going to give you our thoughts on these videos. As simple as that.
Yeah.
From our unique, hopefully unique perspective. But the way that this looks pretty black and white for me.
Yeah.
So far, I haven't seen anything, but from what I've read, it seems pretty black and white. Anything you want to add before we see this video?
Just a trigger warning, really. If you don't want to hear about abuse, maybe don't watch this video. Just take care of yourself as well if you are going to listen, because these kind of situations impact everyone in different ways.
I would also like to say that there's a reason why nobody came to Diddy's defense when these allegations were first brought forward. Usually when these sort of things happen, there's always like, oh my Lord, this woman just wants money. There's a lot of people who are in Diddy's circles who stayed quiet.
Yeah.
And I think we're now starting to see why. Listen, this Kendrick Lamar Not Like Us stuff, let's just say this has been going on for a long time. Let's go straight into it, actually. Without further ado, what we're going to watch, we're going to take a look at the CCTV footage that has recently been
shared on the news, in news reports. So it's not the whole footage, it's just in the news report itself.
And this apparently is a hotel footage.
Yeah. So this is footage actually from 2016.
New surveillance footage obtained exclusively by
so she's walking
CNN
down the
appears to
hallway.
corroborate some of the allegations of abuse against music mogul Sean Diddy Combs.
Why is he
The
half
video
naked?
captured on multiple cameras shows Combs wearing only a towel, assaulting his
Oh
then girlfriend Cassie Ventura
no,
in a hallway at a
my.
Los Angeles hotel
Oh
in
my
March
gosh.
2016. A lawsuit filed by Ventura in November last year and settled the next day referenced actions that seem to
Wowee.
match those seen in this video. There is no
Oh
audio.
no.
According to the complaint, Combs became
Just
extremely intoxicated and punched Miss Ventura
wow.
in the face, giving her a black eye. Ventura
She
and
clearly
throwing
tried to
her to the
escape.
ground.
Oh
As
my
Ventura
gosh,
lies on the
she clearly
ground,
tried to
Combs then
escape
kicks her twice and
on a
attempts to
quiet
drag
while
her
he
on the
was
floor
either
back to the
showering,
hotel
looks
room.
like,
Yeah.
or
Ventura is
something,
seen
and he's
picking up
just,
a hotel phone.
and he's just,
Come after her.
yeah. What can you say about that video? There's nothing. This man is on video, and he's
It's
denied.
self-explanatory.
Yeah, there's nothing. What can we say? Because he's come out and he's denied everything. This man has looked us in the eye and said, "They're coming for me. I've denied everything. This is just this. This is just that. Denial, denial, denial."
Yeah.
Like in Egypt. And now we've seen the video of him. What can I say on camera that's not going to get me in trouble? He's beating her,
Yeah.
manhandling, grabbing her, dragging her. And the thing is, this is him doing that in a hotel.
Yeah.
And not only doing it in a hotel, he's doing it in the lobby, like in the hallway in the hotel.
Yeah.
There's other rooms.
Yeah.
So he doesn't even care
No.
if people hear him or see him. He's so emboldened.
Yeah. So confident and comfortable to do it. Like this seems, I mean, I'm a trauma specialist. This seems like typical behavior characterized in an abusive dynamic. So this is like objects stomping her out. This is very, very serious. I mean, you can get internal bleeding and die from things like this. Concussions, brain injuries.
It's a lot. There's a lot to say. Without even, I don't think we need to go into the details of Diddy's character or anything like that to understand that this guy is like this, or to at least have an opinion that he could be like this.
Yeah.
Because just believe someone the first time you see them. I know this might sound silly, but just the way that this man is supposed to be either the manager or the director or the owner of the Bad Boy record label. But he's always in every of his artists' videos. He comes on their songs. He puts himself front and center of every project that he's involved in, even if he doesn't have a verse.
Yeah.
He'll be on the track saying, yeah, take that, or whatever he's doing. I'm thinking from that sort of time, and I know this is just surface level stuff, guys, I understand, but that gave me an inkling of who this guy is. And I know that Death Row spoke about Diddy.
Yeah.
They spoke about him and what he was kind of like anyway back then, and we didn't really pay attention. People who are part of the culture didn't really pay attention. For me, just believe someone the first time they start showing you little things, even little things like going back to Making the Band. And the Making the Band was a very interesting show. The way that he was in that show on TV, the way that he spoke, the way that he spoke to people, the way that he got people to do certain tasks for him, like go to Brooklyn and get me a cheesecake and walk 100 miles. Joe, I know Dave Chappelle took the mickey, took the piss, right, in his sketches, but even then you saw the narcissistic behavior shining through clear. And that's why I think as human beings, I wish we understood behavioral traits a bit more.
Yeah.
Because when we see these things clearly in the open, we don't really associate them as negative things, especially in a capitalistic world.
Yeah.
Some of these things are seen as positives, as manly, and it should be difficult and you should be like that. But when you strip it away, it's like, why? What sort of person is like that? What sort of character is that person? These industries, right, that are unregulated, that don't have a governing body overseeing things, that don't have checks and balances. There's nowhere for you to go if you want to whistleblow.
Yeah.
We're talking about the music industry and we're talking about Hollywood.
Yeah.
Where it's self-regulated.
Yes.
These industries are listen, this stuff happens with bankers and governmental officials. Of course, these are just human beings being human beings. But when you have industries that regulate themselves, there's no overseeing body to police it.
No.
You're going to have these larger than life characters who think they can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
And if you're Diddy, you from an age on era where your money talks, and you can probably get away with doing this in the 90s.
Yeah.
Hip hop, and let's be real now. Okay, this is real. Hip hop, especially today's hip hop, is very largely misogynistic.
Yeah.
It is. Not every hip hop artist is, but the bitches and hoes and all these things, they can be very misogynistic. So seeing filthy rich people who don't have checks and balances in place,
Yeah.
who can get away with buying anything and buying anyone they want.
Yeah.
This is what you're going to get. And a lot more of this. Listen, I wouldn't be surprised if people start coming for Jay-Z and all these guys, because everybody from those times, I'm telling you guys,
Yeah.
everybody from those times have skeletons in their closet.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Not when if it's
Jump in, B. Jump in.
If it's culturally acceptable at the time, it doesn't mean it was right. If something was acceptable within a particular culture, then it probably was happening. We can see, looking over at politics at the same time, you can see there's and Hollywood, lots of people have been, you know, alleged and actually gone to prison for doing things. I know that a lot of people's first response when people find out that someone's in an abusive relationship is why didn't she leave? Well, first of all, you can see her trying to leave. Second of all, when people try and leave is the most dangerous time, actually, because that's when, if someone's abusive in their character and controlling, they're losing control in that moment and they try to seek it even stronger. Going back to making the band, you can actually see people who are trying to make it into the band. You can see them in a conflict with themselves, because Diddy is, in some cases, humiliating them, asking them to do self-humiliation for him, to become subservient to him. And especially you could see some of the men who wanted to make the band, you could see them really struggling, and they may have been painted in the show as difficult or challenging, but really what they were dealing with was, I don't want to have to like swallow this. This is not, it doesn't feel right. It's not even like it's not like a game show where like you do something silly, you get covered in cream or something like.
This is being subservient. This is laying on your back and letting him tickle your tummy.
Yeah.
Sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And he'll make it like you have to do this. This is kind of what it takes.
Yes. And you think it's true because he's one of the biggest music moguls in the world, even still to this day. And at the time, even more so. He had such a monopoly, he had such a stronghold on the game. He's one of the most popular selling songs and his artists in the history of music.
Yeah. It's very interesting. I think the culture that a lot of people talk about has negatives and positives. Every culture.
Yeah.
Every culture, especially a new culture like the African American culture, is very new. Slavery only ended a couple hundred years ago. So in the space of, let's say, 200 years from when you were free, you've had to create a culture, right? There's some cultures that go back 1,000,000 years. There's some cultures that go back 100,000 years. And there's some cultures that start very recently. I am Jamaican. I am born and bred Jamaican. My blood is Jamaican. I'm fully Jamaican. And I understand that my culture, while I love my country and the cultural impact that my little island has had on the world with regards to reggae, even hip hop.
Yeah.
We had a big influence in hip hop music. So please don't tell me I shouldn't have an opinion on hip hop music when Biggie Smalls is Jamaican. Let's just leave it as that. Whether it's reggae, whether it's dancehall, bashment, whether it's the way we speak, whether it's Bob Marley, whatever it is, clothing line, food. There are some cultures who I've only just started, and cultures that are new, just like my culture was created from enslaved people. There are always going to be legacies, traumas left over that we carry. And I don't even believe misogyny is a black issue.
No.
I don't think it is. It's a society issue. But in hip hop culture, as I said before, I think we just need to be careful. Yes, we can sing along to these girls ain't loyal and all these things, yes. But just be careful, because it gives excuses for men like that. And so when their things catch up with them, we shouldn't really act too surprised, because they've kind of told us who they were all along. We just didn't want to see it. Do you understand what I'm trying to say, guys? So that's my perspective on Diddy. This does not surprise me with Diddy.
No.
As sad as this is and as traumatic as this is, it doesn't surprise me, unfortunately. And more will follow this. Like Cat Williams says, like Kendrick says, more will follow this. And whether it's a black man, because sometimes we don't want to look at this because it's one of the black guys black moguls, black superstars that we look up to. But we're gonna have to bite the bullet and just fix up and bring these men to account, really. Like, there's no doubt about it. So it's disgusting, really.
I think at the time when Cassie filed her original lawsuit, Diddy released a statement with his lawyer, or on his lawyer on his behalf, vehemently denying the allegations and saying that they were made up, they're fabricated to tear him down, to get money out of him. The actual statement itself was framed as though he was a victim and he was being victimized by Cassie.
Yeah.
Whereas the actual truth was the complete opposite. And I think allegedly he paid a good $50,000 or more to keep that footage quiet, because it's from 2016. That's a long time ago.
Yeah. It's a denial for me. He's denied everything.
Yeah.
These guys will always deny it. Now when it hits the fan and the truth is out there, what then? Well, we're going to find out what then.
Yeah.
Apparently, he released an apology.
Yeah. So, again, trigger warning. If you don't want to listen to this part, don't listen to it. I can understand why you wouldn't want to.
All right. Let's go for it, guys.
It's so difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life. Sometimes you got to do that. I was fucked up. I mean, I hit rock bottom. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video.
Well, yeah, you have to.
I was disgusted then when I did it. I'm disgusted now. When I sought out professional help, I had to go into therapy.
Okay.
I ask God for his mercy and grace.
Bringing God into it. Okay.
I got a lot to
So
say.
sorry.
So sorry. For what?
But I'm committed to be a better man each and every day.
Oh.
I'm not asking for forgiveness.
Huh?
Truly sorry.
I think a few points triggered me in a moment, because I was thinking, if you've been to therapy, as he's described, and rehab, you would have done that already before you released a statement saying she's lying and she's trying to take your money. So it's kind of counterintuitive to then come out and say, I've done all this work on myself, but only 6 months ago I was saying she was lying and I was trying to sustain her character.
Timeline it doesn't make sense what he's saying, the timeline, in terms of I've seek therapy and I'm trying to be a better man. But as in, you seek therapy then, or as in you've just seek therapy now?
Yeah. Was that very recent? It's interesting. He didn't give a lot of like clear detail. He didn't even say who he was apologizing
Who's
to.
apologizing to and what you're sorry for. He just says, I'm sorry. This whole apology, I'm not gonna lie to you, he's sorry for himself.
Yeah, he
That's
would be.
how I sound. It doesn't sound like he's sorry for what he's done and what he's done to her. He's just sorry that this is happening to him.
Yeah.
That's the vibe I'm getting. It's
sorry
like
he got found out.
I'm sorry I got. That's what it sounds like. It's once again, it's giving narcissist vibes.
And as much as things like narcissistic personality disorder are come from traumas, childhood traumas, and the way your personality develops to manage that, there are so many people who have narcissistic personality disorder in therapy who don't actively harm others, who recognize what they do to maybe manipulate. And I think I even saw some recent data that there is a higher proportion, you talked about this unregulated industry.
Yeah.
There will be a higher proportion of people with diagnosable personality disorders like this
in
these areas in Hollywood. Because to think about it, you have to think you're amazing, you have to think you're excellent, you have to put yourself on camera, you have to think people will adore you, and then you need to respond to their adoration of you.
What does that do to your brain over a longer period of time?
Yeah.
He said the word disgusted a few times. I think he's talking about himself.
Yeah, I think he's disgusted with himself, as in he feels disgusting as a person. Whatever shame and things he's carrying from childhood. This is just me hypothesizing as a trauma therapist specialist that these are things that people who've experienced trauma, when you break it down, you find out they have a lot of shame. They hold a lot of shame, and it doesn't excuse anything he's done.
Let me quickly listen. Just 1 second.
It's so difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life.
That's another thing. I'm thinking it's so difficult to reflect on the darkest time. I'm like, what were you going through then? So bad. I mean, I don't know, but what were you going through so bad that you had to just be beating on this woman over and over again? Because it seems to me that it was the darkest times in her life.
Yes.
And you're just once again, this whole thing's about, it just sounds like it's about him. Yeah. Even the apology, it's about him and him getting better, and it's the darkest moments of his life. There's no real apology.
No.
You know?
And interesting, he frames it as, he's talking like to people. He's like, interesting when he didn't say my life, he said your life. So he knows how to write. He writes music where the way you frame a sentence either engages the audience to make them think from their perspective, and so he wants to connect with people and say we've all been through really dark times where we've done things that are really, really bad. But from the little piece of information I've heard through the grapevines back in the day, he was abusive to other women in his life. There's new allegations that are coming out now. This is pattern of behavior. This is like over time, habitual behavior over years and years. It's not something that just
no. I think it's very important that you use God as well. God, the way that religion has been used in history, right, to control people, to control enslaved people, and also to control black people. You can see in America right now how the evangelical Christians and the churches, the way it shapes your mind, the way this religion has been used to control people through the history, and still now so many people are controlled by it, is absolutely insane. And he knows, talking about God and God is good and seeking help and all of these things, he knows Christians are going to be like, you know what, you make mistakes, and he knows what that is, and he's using that, I think, in my opinion. Wow. One minute quickly.
I was fucked up. I mean, I hit rock bottom.
He hit rock bottom.
It's interesting. He says, I was effed up, and he's shaking his head. No. And then he says, I hit rock bottom, and he said, nodded. So
for my actions in that video.
You take full responsibility for your actions. I mean, it's like, imagine if he came out and says, I don't take full responsibility.
Yeah, okay.
Like, what does that mean? This is not good for Diddy. This is not good.
No. Hasn't his home been... Am I blending him with someone else?
No. He's, yep. And not because of this.
No.
On
trafficking and allegedly
stuff.
trafficking.
They not like us stuff.
Yeah.
So the they not like us kind of allegations. His house being raided and all these things, and now videos like this coming out. And also I see online there's a big movement that a lot of people are now opening their eyes up to celebrities. And I've always said it's weird how human beings worship other human beings. Listen, if a woman's given birth to you, same way a woman gave birth to me, on this planet, I'm not worshipping you. I'm not going to worship you. I'm going to admire your talent if you're talented. If you're an artist, if you're a singer, I'm like, yes, I admire your talent. But the way that we worship people, like we know them.
Like we stand them.
We stand them.
Stan is from that crazy Eminem song where like, it's too much, it's too extreme.
Why do humans do this? Attach themselves and attach their very beings to people. So when, listen, this is what happens. The Drake's fans and the Diddy fans, when you soul yourself and attach yourself to a human being because of their talent, and you don't know what they're doing behind closed doors, when stuff like this is released, you don't know what to do with yourself.
No.
Your whole world turns upside down. Your reality is blown up into pieces, right? Just don't do it. Just don't do it. Just admire people's talents and go about your business and love your family and love your friends. That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
These people are not your friends. These people that we pour our love and all our money and everything to, they're not our brethren. They're not.
No.
It blows my mind the way that human beings treat other human beings, worship human beings. It's for me, it's a sickness. There's nothing positive I can say about Diddy. This was coming. I think more stuff is going to be released. This is only the beginning. He's gonna be paying out a lot of money. Yeah. Let's just say it that.
I just want people to take away from this what you said. When we, as humans do, which is natural, we find a connection with an artist for whatever kind of art, music, sports, whatever. We then attach our ego and our way of understanding ourselves, like, oh, they made that song, they're speaking to me. Like, I get it, they're speaking about
because we can only center ourselves in our own minds, right? Yeah. I don't have your mind, so all I have is myself. So my whole world in that way is centered, and plus capitalism, and I know you guys are sick of us talking about it. It literally centers you, and you have to achieve, and you have to do this, and you have to do that. It's literally a system where you have to just compete with other people.
Yes.
You never think about other people at all. That's socialism, right? And that's the enemy. That's evil. Thinking about other people, whether it's Native Americans, whether it's traditional African tribes or Aboriginal people, whatever the original people were that lived in communities and always thought about outside of themselves, thought about the earth. We planted crops, gathered together, exchange. Socialism, that's the bedrock of humanity. And that is now evil, according to a lot of you. And the selfish mentality of capitalism, which is a system that means only one person has all the money and the rest of us are poor, that system is, you know, is taking over, and that's good. That is breeding, and that will always breed people like this.
Yeah, and
always.
This is coming from a well-renowned economist right here, so
There's a
he
lot.
knows what he's talking about.
I am an economist and I am a financial advisor. This is what I advise. It's quite interesting because I live in almost an oxymoron reality where I advise people what to do with their money
To get richer.
to get richer
And stay rich.
and stay rich, but I'm anti-capitalist.
Mm.
Is that hypocritical? I don't know. Who cares?
Well, we're all the system is everywhere.
The system captures,
You can't
gets all of us.
escape it.
We have to do what we need to do, right? There you go, man. That's our opinion.
Yeah.
We're very opinionated, as you can see. I think we just had to just do a quick video from our perspective, and I don't know if anyone else is talking about this in the way that we're talking about it. So I hope you guys have food for thought.
Yeah.
Comment below. Let us know what you think.
Yeah.
Challenge us in some of our ideas respectfully.
Yeah.
This channel is about critical thinking above all.
Yeah.
So if you want to challenge anything I've said, comment on anything, just respectfully do it so we can start the dialogue and have a conversation about it. Anything else?
Just once again, it's just my trauma therapist nature. Take care of all of yourselves, because almost all of us would have been, especially with our older generations, like would have been touched by knowing someone or come from homes where violence was part of the norm. Be mindful that you're also potentially going to be triggered by some of the footage and conversations, and just take care of yourself and be kind to yourself.
Thank you for watching. As usual, smash a like, share this video, subscribe if you want more content like this, more conversations. If you want us to start reacting to other things, like I said, we don't just react to pop culture. It's news, it's TV shows, movies, Game of Thrones, and this House of Dragon is coming back, and we're definitely going to be watching that. We do everything here on this channel, so join the channel. We'll see you guys next time.
Yeah.
Peace out.
Guys.